The world doesn't just stop when a pope dies, it shifts. The bells toll through Vatican City, the whispers hush across St. Peter's Square, the doors of papal power begin to close, literally and symbolically. And what unfolds next is one of the most secretive, ritualistic, and emotionally charged transitions of power that the modern world still honors. But before there's white smoke, there's silence. Heavy silence. And once there's no response, the See of Peter is officially empty, and the world enters what's known as the sede vacante. No pope. No spiritual leader. Just sacred emptiness.
The conclave is when the cardinals come to Rome to elect a new pope. There are about 140 under the age of 80 who will enter into the Sistine Chapel to vote who should be the new pope. Each day they will have several ballots. They will decide who they want to be pope. At the end of each ballot, they will burn their ballots, and you can see the smoke from above Sistine Chapel.
Before that smoke rises, black or white. There's another side of the story. Secrecy. Joshua McLeese said,
If the smoke burns black or brown, we know that there has not been any pope elected. When the smoke burns white, it means there has been a pope.
When the white smoke finally emerges, it tells a centuries-old story. A decision has been made. And behind those walls, the newest spiritual leader of over 1 billion Catholics is preparing for the biggest moment of his life.
So when the Pope dies, there's a special official at the Vatican called the Camerlengo who has to confirm his death. That's Cardinal Kevin Farrell. He's an Irish-American cardinal. He confirms the Pope's death, and then he informs the College of Cardinals and all the diplomats in Rome that the Pope has died, at which point the Vatican is under what is called a sede vacante. The See of Peter is empty. There is no Pope. Cardinal Farrell becomes the temporary leader of the Vatican, and he helps start the conclave.
While the world waits, something ancient is brewing.
So there's not normally a chimney in the Sistine Chapel. They install one especially for the conclave, and the cardinals are tasked with burning their ballots to keep them secret, because when the cardinals are voting on who should be pope, they are supposed to be completely removed from the world. They are to have no communication outside the conclave. They're not supposed to use their cell phones. They're not supposed to read the newspapers. They're not supposed to be in any sort of contact with the outside.
And then it happens. The doors open, the balcony curtain pulls back, the crowds below erupt. The words ring out like thunder through the stone of St. Peter's Basilica.
From that point forward, the new pope gets prepared. He then appears on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica behind me. The cardinals announce to the people below, Abemus Papam, we have a pope. And that pope offers his first blessing to the world and becomes known to people around the world. So Pope Francis was the first pope from the Americas. He was from Argentina, and he was known for choosing a more simple lifestyle, kind of not always enjoying the high pomp and circumstance of the papacy that previous popes have enjoyed. He changed the rites for a papal funeral to simplify them. One of the major changes is that he asked to be buried in a simple wooden casket. Previous popes have been buried in a casket of 3 interlocking coffins of cypress, oak, and lead. Francis asked to be buried only in a simple wooden coffin.
The eyes of the world once again fixate on St. Peter's Square. As Pope Benedict's body lies in solemn silence, bathed in incense and sacred hymns, it's a chilling reminder. Even the most powerful spiritual leaders are still men, flesh and bone, dust to dust. But Pope Francis? He wanted something different. A break from centuries of layers and spectacle.
He also asked not to be buried at St. Peter's Basilica alongside many other popes. He's asked to be buried in the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore in Rome, where he had a special devotion, and that's where his tomb will be.
This wasn't just a decision about burial, it was a message. Instead of ornate chambers beneath the Vatican, Francis chose the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, not for its glamour, but for its meaning. This wasn't just a basilica. It was his spiritual anchor, a place he visited in secret, a place where he prayed before and after every international trip. And now, it will be his final resting place. No pomp, no golden tomb, just the man, the mission, and the marble walls of a basilica that knew his heart. But the emotional whirlwind doesn't stop at the burial, because when a pope dies, the Vatican doesn't just grieve, it reorganizes, shifts, realigns alliances, and for a few days, power is truly up for grabs. The Camerlengo and 3 assistants, chosen by lot, take control of the pope's remains. They don't just handle the funeral, they break the fisherman's ring and lead seal. Why? Because no one, Not even the holiest can ever impersonate the papacy. The ring is smashed, the seal destroyed, symbolically ending that pope's reign forever. You heard that right. Behind the closed doors of the Vatican, cardinals begin testing the waters, quietly forming coalitions. It's a chess match draped in cassocks. And the prize? Leadership of the world's 1.3 billion Catholics. And every time they don't agree, but the day they do, that's when the world holds its breath. The new pope steps into a room called the Room of Tears, and for good reason. It's where centuries of legacy, burden, expectation, and grace all come crashing down on his shoulders. He dons the papal white, chooses a name, and walks to the threshold of history. On the central balcony, a voice declares it to the world, Habemus Papam. The crowds erupt, cameras flash, tears fall. It's a moment of awe. A moment that once belonged to John Paul II, Benedict, Francis, and now to someone new. But even in that joyous moment, shadows of the previous reign linger. Because the papacy of Pope Francis wasn't ordinary. He simplified the most powerful throne on earth, and now, in death, his final wishes echo louder than ever. No grand crypt, no triple-layered caskets, just a man, a faith, and a wooden coffin laid beneath the dome of Santa Maria Maggiore.